I am 18F. I feel bad saying this, but my mom, 34F, often makes me feel like I'm the mother to her 7-year-old son, my brother from a different father. I am expected to make him breakfast every day. There isn't a day where she doesn't expect me to feed him. I even cook dinner and lunch. I have to help him with homework, reading, and chores. I want to enjoy life as a young adult, but I can't even do that. Every time I want to go out, she constantly reminds me I have a brother to look after like he's my son. It's hard because when she isn't home, he doesn't listen to me. He sees me like a maid because that's what he sees from his mom. His mom never corrects his behavior, and yesterday when my brother hit me and I lectured him about it, she laughed with him about the situation. I'm so tired and want to get out this house, but part of me feels bad leaving. I feel like I'm leaving a lot for my mom to take care of. Am I in the wrong for wanting to leave, or am I just being too dramatic? I can't even tell if this behavior is normal because it's been this way since I was 10. I can't even get job BTW. She won't allow me. Calls me dramatic and selfish for even wanting one. She's admitted that she doesn't want me growing up or getting more freedom. She also won't allow me to drive. I can't do much because I live in a small town where the farthest stores are 30 minutes away. So I kind of need a car to get a job. I also was going to see family since my grandma paid for the ticket, and my mom basically told me I couldn't go because I'm expected at home to care for my brother over the summer, so I can't even work this summer if I wanted to. Relevant comments. Commenter. Leave. Let mom deal with the life she chose. If she tries to say you have a brother to look after, say, no, you have a son to look after. Then walk out. Commenter. OP. You are being parentified. That's toxic. If your mom needs help raising him, she can ask his father or his grandparents or hire a babysitter. Op. Unfortunately, we live 2 hours away from them. Commenter. Then you ask dad to get you. And live with him if possible and explain why. Op. My dad got deported. We have different fathers. Commenter. I had the same issue with my mom and younger siblings. I was basically a parent to them both from age 9, and it didn't stop till I left. I tried bringing it up. I tried saying it was unfair. I even had an older siblings who did nothing around the house. No chores or anything. It was all my responsibility. I just get told life is unfair, or her parents were stricter with her, and this was just part of being a family. It's not. It's bad parenting and lazy parenting from your mom. And it won't stop. Because you're making her day-to-day life easier by picking up the slack and doing things she doesn't want to do or knows you'll do. It's totally unfair on you. At 18, you should be exploring the world, hanging out with your friends, enjoying those last teenage years while embracing the adult world before you have real consequences to deal with. My best advice is to leave. I don't know if you have other family you could stay with. Maybe start looking for a job if you don't already have one. Getting away is really your only way out of this. Op. I'm so sorry. Thank you for sharing that. That's kind of how it is in my household. Basically do all my mom's chores as well. I really want to do more, but every time I ask, she tells me I'm selfish for going. Commenter. You really don't need to ask. You are a legal adult. If you can move away with a family member and get a job, do that. Don't let her guilt you. It's one thing to help out your family sometimes. It's a whole other thing when they make their kid your responsibility. It's not. Commenter. You are not wrong, but this is not going to change until you move out of that house and take yourself completely out from under your mother's control. Unfortunately, your brother is too young for you to simply leave when you feel like it and put him at risk if your mother is not at home. Is there anyone else you can stay with to escape from this servitude? Op. My aunt has been asking me to come with her, and she would pay for college. She knows how my mom is. I just feel guilty leaving her behind, especially since I help with my brother. Commenter. Go with your aunt. Please don't feel guilty. You have been indoctrinated to believe that you have to help. You don't. Clearly your aunt can see what's happening and wants to help. Your mom chose to have a child. You did not. You are not wrong. Your brother, no matter how much you love him and want to help, is not your responsibility. Op. I'll ask her tomorrow. I just haven't asked since she recently had a baby. Last time she called me, she reassured that her having a baby didn't mean she would stop caring. So hopefully she does let me. I just feel horrible leaving my mom. I feel like my duty is only at home. Update 1. So a bunch of people told me the type of abuse that was parentification, which now does make sense. To people who said to get a job, I can't. I can't drive. My mother would take my phone. I can't explain how bad it can be when she's upset, but it's bad and I rather follow what she says till I leave. So today I texted my aunt who has in the past wanted me to go with her. We talked and she said OFC she would take me in. Agreed to help me follow a degree in criminal justice, learn to drive, and get a job. She agreed that what my mom was doing was wrong. I graduate next month on the 17th, and we both agreed my aunt would come for me May 25th, which is the day I'm leaving. I have no plan on telling my mom. I will pack my stuff silently and leave quietly. I'm trying to find my passport, but my mom has hidden it from me. Hopefully I do find it. Thank you to everyone's support. Hopefully the plan goes through and I do end up leaving. Relevant comments. Commenter. Get your birth certificate and social security card too. Op. I'll make sure to grab them the day before in case she notices them missing. Commenter. Take photos of them though in case she decides to hide them. Commenter. After you leave, she will try to guilt trip you into believing that terrible things are now happening because you aren't there to help. There's a very real chance that she will claim a major medical emergency for either herself or your brother. Do not fall for it. These are some textbook emotional manipulation tactics that people like her use to regain control. She's a grown-up who chose to have kids. She doesn't need her 17-year daughter taking care of everything for her. She's capable of doing it herself, but just wants to make you do it for her. Commenter. OP needs a lot of stock phrases on hand to deal with this kind of manipulation. That's a real shame. I hope you sort it out. Goodbye. Etc. Op. Am planning on cutting her off. I think it's for the better. I easily fall to her manipulation, and sometimes it's hard to do what's better for me. Commenter. I get that. It's hard to break free after living under that for years. Sometimes spent no contact would probably be the best way to focus on your own well-being. She'll probably try everything she can think of to find you and force you to talk with her. Speak to your aunt about how the two of you can prepare to deal with that in case she tries to get to you through your aunt. And speak to your college admin to make sure they know the situation and can put safeguards in place to prevent your mom from contacting the school to sabotage your academics. Op. Alright, thank you. Hopefully she doesn't, but I could never know. Hopefully everything goes well, and in a few years, maybe I can reconnect with my mom again. Commenter. Freeze your credit. This is one way she can try to mess up your life. Run a credit report as soon as you leave to make sure she hasn't used your SSN for anything, then freeze it. If she has used it, report it as fraud. You can unfreeze it when you need to. Get an IRS ID PIN for filing taxes so she can't claim you as a dependent next year. Update 2. So I am officially leaving in 20 days, but these past days have been hell for me. I know the time is coming, but I can't wait for it to be here already. It's like my mom's getting more controlling as time goes by. My aunt and I have already found a job and called. We agreed that I would sneak my paperwork and leave. I'm having a hard time leaving my younger sister behind since my mom is also hard on her too. My mom has been threatening to take away my phone at 18 and expects me to come straight from school to clean and work around the house to the point where she yells if it's not done. I have no time to do homework and I'm failing a class. Everything else I have A's and B's. Even if I try doing homework, she accuses me of only being on the phone. Yesterday, she accused my sister and I of being in a secret relationship, which she has before. It's honestly so gross and disgusting. I just want to get out. The other day I wore shorts and she told me I would get her worded. The shorts weren't even that short and it's summer. I'm constantly controlled and I can't wear makeup, dress the way I want, work, drive, or do anything. This is so tiring and I'm tired of my life, and she makes me feel like absolute trash. I feel so bad leaving my sister behind. She's 16. I feel so much guilt leaving her behind. I can't stop crying because I know I'm leaving and I know she's going to get grounded once I leave. Relevant comments. Commenter. Make sure you and your sister find a way to keep in contact. Make a plan for her to get out as well. What age is legal where you live? Could she go with you? I hate to say this because it's clear you love your sister, but don't even tell her you're leaving. Your mother may force it out of her. Contact Child Protective Services, CPS, or the equivalent where you live and let them know what your mother is doing. She's sadly going to do the same she did to you to your sister once you leave. Good luck. Keeping a countdown for you. Make sure you have everything important to take with you, and if you have to sneak out a couple days ahead and stay with a friend, if you can, so she can't try to stop you. Getting away from an abusive relationship, regardless of who the relationship is with, is a very dangerous time. Stay safe, OP. Commenter. You're not wrong, and I'm glad you're escaping the hell that you've been forced to live in. I have a suggestion that might help your sister. I agree with everyone saying she needs a way to contact you. But if your mother grounds her and doesn't allow her access to any communication devices, she could literally be dying in that house and you wouldn't know. If she's in serious danger and needs you to call 911 or whatever exists where you live to enter the house, by force if necessary to do a welfare check if it comes to that, she needs to be able to communicate that to you without any phone or other communication device your mother can take from her. So devise a way to communicate with her now, so she has the info before you're no longer there to give it to her. If you can't risk telling her you're leaving before you do, when you leave her a message in a place that only she would find telling her how to communicate with you. You could tell her to use any window facing the street, or any window you can view from a safe distance. You can either devise a short numeric code 0 to 9, with different hashtag S meaning different things, but I suspect that may be too much too quick. But minimum, she needs to know to put an X in any window she can access if she needs emergent help. She can write it on the glass, tape it to the glass. Anyway, she can make a visible X in the window to let you know, call 911. Good luck. You're very brave. Update 3. Hi, so it's been a while. I honestly have been so caught up in life that I forgot to update. I did make the hard choice and did leave. It was incredibly hard to leave my sister and brother behind, but in order to help them I have to help myself. It's been a good month and a half now, and I have moved states with my aunt, found a job, starting college, and learning to drive. The amount of freedom feels so weird to me. I get to go out, have money, have a voice, and I'm not constantly watching over others. I still talk to my sister and my mom hasn't changed. I don't know if I even still consider her my mother. Ever since I've talked to my aunt about my home life and learning to grow and get over trauma, and I'm going to start therapy soon to help with these. For people saying I should have called CPS, I have. CPS has been called 4 times. My mother was a foster mom to 2 kids, and both of them reported her to CPS. I reported her to CPS, and my own family has reported her, and nothing was ever done. My sister has told me ever since I left that my mom is telling people that I was a brat, dramatic, attention-seeking, and that she doesn't consider me her daughter anymore, which is fine because she never felt like a mother to me. I feel like my mom has damaged me. I have severe anxiety, can't look people in the eye, have a hard time with conversations, and an overall horrible self-image. I hope that going to therapy can fix these problems, and I can just continue to grow as an adult. Relevant comments. Commenter. Step 1 was getting out. Congratulations on that huge accomplishment. And it is huge, and you made it happen. Step 2 through infinity is healing, growing up, living life. Don't rush things, learn to live with the new normal, and then you'll be more and more prepared as the new normal changes and shifts as you grow and life happens. Thank your aunt because she deserves a ton of credit for what she's doing for you. Your responsibility is to yourself now. Hopefully you'll get yourself into a place where you can help your siblings, but don't let that be the biggest priority at the moment. Good luck. Editor's note. OOP has not posted or commented since the second update. It has been over a month, and she said she was leaving about 3 weeks ago. I will mark this ongoing as it's still relatively new, but I feel like it might end up inconclusive. Commenter. Congratulations on gathering the courage to leave. Now, it's time to heal and grow. Don't rush into a relationship either. If possible, get on birth control also. Know that you are doing what is right for you. Tell your aunt she is a VIP Andy. Many hugs and love. Update 4. So, I didn't think I'd be back with another update, but life has a way of throwing curveballs at you, doesn't it? It's been about 3 months since I left, and I've been adjusting to my new life. I'm in school, I've got a part-time job, and therapy has been helping, slowly but surely. Things have been going well, at least until this past week. My sister, who I've kept in touch with regularly, called me out of the blue a few days ago. She was crying, and I could barely make out what she was saying. But eventually, I understood that things at home have gotten worse, way worse. My mom's behavior has become more erratic since I left. She's constantly yelling at my sister, grounding her for the smallest things, and apparently, she's been drinking more. My sister said that our mom told her she's the last hope to keep the family together, and she's terrified. My heart sank when I heard this. I knew things wouldn't be easy when I left, but I didn't expect my mom to spiral like this. My sister begged me to come back, saying she couldn't handle it anymore, that she needs me. And honestly, I'm torn. I've just started to find my footing, to build a life for myself, but the guilt of leaving her behind is eating me alive. I don't know what to do. My aunt has been supportive, telling me that I need to stay focused on my own life and healing, but the idea of my sister suffering alone is killing me. I haven't slept well since that call. I've been going over every possible option in my head. Should I go back? Should I try to get her to come live with us? But she's only 16, and my mom would never let her leave without a fight. Plus, we're in different states now. It's not that simple. Yesterday, I got another call from my mom. I didn't recognize the number, but I answered anyway, and there she was, furious and demanding to know where I was. She accused me of abandoning the family, said I was selfish, and even blamed me for the state of the house. She claimed that my sister is failing school and that it's all my fault because I left. The guilt trip was strong, and for a moment, I almost caved. But then she said something that snapped me out of it. She called me a worthless mistake and told me I'd regret leaving them behind. That was it for me. I hung up on her mid-rant and blocked the number. But I can't shake the feeling that this isn't over. My mom is unpredictable, and I wouldn't put it past her to try and show up here or do something drastic. My aunt reassured me that we're safe, but I'm still on edge. I'm scared for my sister, and I'm scared of what my mom might do next. Right now, I'm just trying to keep my head above water. Therapy helps, but the weight of everything is so heavy. I feel like I'm constantly looking over my shoulder, waiting for the other shoe to drop. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm doing my best to keep moving forward, even if it feels like I'm dragging a 1,000-pound weight behind me. So, that's where I'm at. I wish I had a better, more hopeful update, but this is the reality of it all. Update 5. I can't believe I'm back with another update so soon. I wish I could say things have calmed down, but honestly, it feels like my life has turned into some kind of messed up soap opera. After that last call from my mom, I tried to put it behind me and focus on my new life. I told my therapist everything, and we worked through the guilt I was feeling about leaving my sister. My aunt was also a rock, reassuring me that I made the right choice and reminding me that I can't save anyone if I'm drowning myself. But then, last week, everything blew up in a way I never expected. My sister called me in the middle of the night, whispering and crying. She told me she couldn't take it anymore and that she was ready to leave right then and there. Apparently, my mom had one of her worst outbursts yet, screaming at her for hours over something ridiculous and then locking her in her room for the night. My sister was terrified and desperate, and she asked me if she could come stay with me and my aunt. I felt my heart drop into my stomach. My mind was racing with a million thoughts. How would we get her out? What if my mom found out? What if it made things worse? But in that moment, all I could think about was getting her somewhere safe. So, without thinking, I told her to pack a bag and be ready. I would figure out the rest. I woke my aunt up and told her what was happening, and she didn't even hesitate. She told me to get my sister here as soon as possible. We spent the next couple of hours figuring out the logistics, and finally, we decided that my aunt would drive down to get her while I stayed behind to keep things ready on our end. It was the longest, most nerve-wracking night of my life. My aunt left at 4 a.m., and I didn't hear from her for hours. I couldn't sit still. I just kept pacing around the house, checking my phone every 5 minutes. Eventually, around 10 a.m., I got a text from my sister saying they were on their way back. She didn't say much, just that she was okay and that my mom hadn't noticed she was gone yet. When they finally got back, I practically ran out of the house to hug my sister. She looked exhausted, but I could see the relief in her eyes. My aunt and I brought her inside, and we spent the rest of the day just talking about what happened, about what the next steps would be. My sister was terrified that our mom would come after her, but my aunt promised that she wouldn't let anything happen to her. We even talked about getting a restraining order if it came to that. But, of course, it didn't take long for my mom to notice my sister was gone. She blew up my phone with calls and texts, demanding to know where she was, calling me every name in the book, threatening to call the police and report her as a runaway. I ignored all of it, but my sister was visibly shaken. She kept saying she didn't want to go back, that she couldn't, and we assured her that she wouldn't have to. That night, my mom did something I was afraid of. She showed up at my aunt's house. We heard her banging on the door, screaming for us to let her in. My aunt told me to stay upstairs with my sister while she handled it. I could hear everything from the top of the stairs, my mom yelling, demanding to see my sister, saying we had no right to take her. My aunt stayed calm, telling her that my sister was safe and that she wasn't going anywhere. The police ended up getting involved. My mom must have called them before she got here, and when they arrived, she tried to claim that my sister was being held against her will. But my aunt explained everything: how my sister wanted to leave, how my mom had been emotionally abusive. My sister was terrified, but she came downstairs to tell the officers that she wasn't going back. After that, there wasn't much my mom could do. They told her to leave, and she did. But not before throwing one last insult at me, calling me a traitor and saying I'd ruined everything. I don't know what's going to happen next. My aunt is looking into legal options to keep my mom away from us, and I'm trying to support my sister as much as I can. But I'm scared. I'm scared of what my mom might do next, of how all of this is going to play out. I just want to keep my sister safe and try to move on,